Yes, people, how we all doing? Ricky here from Behind the Bars TV. Hope everyone is fit and well. Been a couple of weeks since I've uploaded a video because I've been flat out busy with work, training, the kids, school holidays last week. But I promise you I'll be back with more videos, so here I am. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about time. Because I've been thinking a lot lately, and if you ask somebody what's the most valuable thing, and to me, and anybody else who has maybe not even so much been to prison, but been through adversity or whatever, and have lost time through mental illnesses or lost time through prison, for me, the most valuable thing in life is time. And the reason being is because you can never get time back. Them times have gone that are in the past, or times that you have lost, then there's no going back. You can't never get that time back. So when you've sat in prison for years on end and you finally come to your senses, you change whilst you're in there, or even people that haven't changed, people that have been to prison, they're in there, you've lost all that time, you've lost your liberty. You cannot get that time back. So the reason behind this video is to let everybody know to value time. And the reason why I value time is because of my family. I lost time in prison through nobody else's fault but mine, but I had to take that on the chin. I had to own up to that. And I'm also going to talk about mistakes in this video as well as time, because us as humans, we all make mistakes, but the only bad mistake is the one that you didn't learn from. It's the one that you keep going over and doing it again, again, and again. Time and again, just keep repeating the mistakes. That, if you keep doing that, then you're an absolute idiot. If you don't learn from your mistakes, then you're never going to learn and you're never going to change your ways. But getting back to time, obviously people that have been to prison, they've made mistakes, they've lost the time, and they'll never get that time back. So what you've got to do is look to the future. Think about everyone around you that means something to you, and make sure you don't make them same mistakes, so you lose time again and lose your liberty, lose your freedom, lose your family, lose your kids, because you'll never, ever get that time back. But there's a saying that the lads used to say in prison, a lot of you people, a lot of the subscribers that are watching that have been to prison will have heard this phrase: you can lock the locks, but you can't stop the clocks. And that's a saying in prison, which means obviously you bang up time, or when you're in prison, they keep locking your door. You can lock the locks, but you can't stop the clocks. Because whatever happens in your life, anybody's life, you cannot stop that clock. That clock is just ticking, ticking, and ticking. And before you know it, your life is over. And you don't want to get to the end of your life and look back and think, what have I actually achieved? Because that time that you've lost or time you've had, you will never get back. And that's why I wanted to raise some awareness in this video, just to let you all know and let that sink in, and let you have a good hard think of it to yourselves as well, and think like, actually, he's talking sense. What's the most valuable thing? What's the most valuable thing in your life? People might say, well, my money, my cars, the house. All of that doesn't mean nothing at the end of the day. If you lose your time, if you get prison time, any of that doesn't mean nothing if you lose your health, if you become mentally unwell, or if you become physically unwell, you get struck down with an illness or a disease. The wealthiest man in the world would give up everything to have the health back if they were on their deathbed and they were dying through some illness or disease like cancer, and they're sitting there, they might be multi-millionaires, and they're going to lose the rest of their life through some illness or whatever, some unforeseen illness that they would never have thought would have come to them, and they would give the last penny just to have a bit extra time, they would give that extra, or they would give that million, 10 million, whatever, or even billionaires would give up the billions to have time. So time is the most valuable thing in life. And I got told this once off a wise old man when he once said to me, because he's actually went through his life and he's not lost his kids, but he hasn't had a lot of contact with his kids throughout his life, and he's now in his late 60s. And he said to us, when I got out of prison, he said, don't go back. That time you can never get back. And he's speaking from the heart. He's speaking about himself. I could tell by the way he was speaking it. He's saying, you can't ever get time back. And I'll never forget when he said it, because he's speaking it from his experiences, because he's lost time with his kids. The kids are all grown up now, and the time that he's lost, he can never get back. And they no longer want anything to do with him, or he has very little contact with them. So time is the most valuable thing. Mess it up, and you can never get it back. But again, with mistakes, everybody as humans, we're all make them. But if you keep making the same one, you're never going to learn. But just let that one sink in, people. Hope you enjoyed that content. If you do, remember to like and subscribe. I'm going to be uploading loads of more videos this month to catch up on the previous month. Take care, everyone.